Hi, I'm Tracy, VE3TWM. Thank you for tuning in to Outdoors on the Air. The good folks at Retevis have sent me another one of their handheld transceivers to review. This time around, it's the new dual-band, dual push-to-talk analog DMR RT52. The RT52 retails for $139 US. Let's take a look at what comes in the box with the RT52. Of course, you get the transceiver itself and a 2200 mAh battery pack. 2200 mAh is a respectable capacity. If you are a heavy portable user, though, you might want to order a second battery when you order the radio. Also, there is a rubber duck antenna, a belt clip, and a wrist strap. Rounding out the list of included items is the user manual, the desk charger, and its power adapter. What is not included is a programming cable. Excluding this in the package is a mistake by Retevis in my estimation. Setting up the RT52 is more cumbersome without the programming cable. The good news is that the cable is inexpensive at only $7.99 US, so remember to add one to your order. Okay, let's take a brief look at the feature set. The RT52 is a dual-band analog and DMR mode handy-talkie with a receive frequency range of 136 to 174 MHz on the VHF high band and 400 to 470 MHz on the UHF side. The unit has two power levels, 1 watt and 5 watts. It's too bad there isn't a mid-range power level at 2.5 watts, which would give better range without consuming as much battery power as the 5 watt setting. There are 4,000 memory channels at your disposal. These channels can be set up in zones, of which the RT52 has capacity for up to 250. Each zone can hold up to 16 memory channels. There is also a scan list feature, which allows you to designate which memory channels should be included in scan mode. You can set up multiple scan lists, and each scan list can hold up to 32 channels. For DMR, promiscuous mode is supported. In addition, GPS circuitry is included as standard equipment. This feature will report GPS location of both sides of the conversation in DMR mode if enabled. Note that Retevis's GPS function is limited to displayed coordinates only. There is no on-screen map. Many other functions are available, which are standard in modern handhelds, including Vox, Power Save Mode, Monitor button, and full CTCSS and DTMF tone support. The RT52 feels very solid and has an operating temperature range of -30 degrees Celsius to +60 degrees Celsius, making it suitable for all-season use. Let's take a walk around the radio and inspect its physical features. On the left-hand side of the unit are two push-to-talk buttons and a user-programmable third button. The front panel features a color LCD display, a good-sounding speaker, and the keypad. I really like the display on the RT52. There is a lot of information on here, but the screen is sharp and easy to read, even for my older eyes. Unfortunately, Retevis does not have an image in the manual explaining the various display elements. I'd really like to see them start adding that to the manual of every product they produce. The keypad is nice. The buttons have a good feel and are backlit. The right-hand side of the rig is the location of the combination speaker microphone and the computer programming interface jacks. On the top panel from left to right, you'll find the antenna jack, a user-programmable orange button, a rotary switch, and the combination power volume control. It's interesting to note the RT52 uses the same antenna connector as the iLens HD1. Now, looking at the rear, we see the battery and the belt clip. Note that similar to the RT3S, the belt clip attaches directly to the battery rather than to the body of the transceiver. So why two push-to-talk buttons? In order to understand that, let's take another look at the display. In the display mode shown on the screen, a feature called Dual Standby is activated. This allows for two channels to be monitored at the same time. However, the function comes with an asterisk. The RT52 does not have two independent receivers, and as such does not have the ability to listen to two channels simultaneously. Rather, it will quickly switch back and forth between the two. When one channel becomes active, the audio from that channel will be heard. If audio is playing on the active channel and the other channel becomes active, the RT52 will continue to play the audio from the first active channel until that activity ceases. At that point, the audio from the second active channel will be heard. So we have two channels showing on the display. Now we can use the top push-to-talk button to transmit on the channel shown on the top of the display. The bottom push-to-talk button, respectively, is for the channel displayed on the lower part of the screen. It's actually quite intuitive. The VE3EBY, VE3TWM.
VE3TWM, VE3EBY, good morning.
Hey, good morning, Paul. How are you doing today?
It's a sunny day today.
Yeah, and it's not freezing either, which is a nice thing. How's the copy, Paul?
Well, you're solid copy here, Tracy. Good audio, very clean.
Good stuff. Okay, thanks for the report, Paul. Do you want to try over? This is the local repeater. Do you want to try over Simplex Channel 1?
Okay, will do. Just give me a sec to dial it up here. VE3EBY.
VE3TWM. VE3EBY, VE3TWM.
VE3TWM, VE3EBY. How copy?
It's outstanding, Paul. The reception is very clear, clearly readable. Just pounding in over here. How are you reading me?
Oh, the same. Strong signal, good audio.
Oh, terrific. Well, thanks very much for the signal report and the contact, Paul. 73 VE3EBY. This is VE3TWM.
Okay, very good, sir. Take care. We'll talk soon. VE3TWM, VE3EBY.
There you have it. It's working beautifully. Not that I didn't expect it to, but it's just you know what, a really nice package to hold in the hand. It's a nice, compact, easily transportable size. Fits easily into any pocket. I love the display, as mentioned earlier. The backlit keypad, even the dual push-to-talk buttons are a really neat feature. So I would suggest, if you are in the market for a DMR analog handheld, take a look at the RT52. It seems to offer a nice combination of features in a fairly compact and rugged form factor. Coming up next, I've got a little bit of a walkthrough, not a complete breakdown, but a little bit of a walkthrough of the programming software that Retevis supplies for the RT52 at no additional cost. I'll play that now, just some of the highlights, so that you get an idea of what it's like to program this radio. I'd like to show you just a bit of the programming software. Note the software only runs on Windows. There is no Mac version. I've launched the RT52 programming software, and I'm just going to go load the code plug that I've already created. My idea here with this part of the video is not to show you how to use the software, but just to give you a brief overview of what I have done to set up my RT52 for initial use. So we'll go open up the code plug, and it's kind of a funny interface. You'll have to get used to some of the idiosyncrasies. And of course, this is DMR, a DMR-based radio, so it's not completely intuitive. It's never designed for the ham market, and as a result, it's going to be something you need to figure out how the DMR market works. Let's take a look at just the basic information here. So this is really just the band coverage. Nothing in here really for you to do. And note that as you move down this item on the left-hand side, you click twice, it opens up a window. The windows don't close automatically. You do have to close them manually. Many of the settings you really don't need to touch. But here's just a look at the basic information there. You can see things like the firmware version, so you can tell at a glance whether or not your radio is up to the latest firmware. And hardware version, other information as well. And I haven't noted up to this point, but there is an active Facebook page for Retevis where you can get help. So make sure you utilize that resource as you get up to speed with your Retevis. Then the general settings. General settings give us a lot of the basic settings for the radio itself. In many cases, I've gone with the default settings, and they're working just fine for me. You have to enter in your ID, of course, your DMR ID. I've just given my radio the name of a very generic RT52. You have options for a number of different things on this screen. This is how you set up the buttons on the radio. There are several buttons. There's one on the left-hand side between the two push-to-talk buttons. There's another one on the top. You can program the programmable buttons for either a short press or a long press, and this menu here gives you an idea of the sorts of options you have for programming those buttons. Contacts, so if you want to upload DMR contacts to your rig, you can go ahead and do that. I haven't done this with my RT52 yet, but this is where you would find the list. Digital contacts would be in this list right here. So I have one local DMR repeater, and it's got a couple of talk groups. There's actually a local talk group, but that hasn't been programmed in. I've got the Canada and Ontario talk groups programmed in. Here you can see the received group lists. So I've got this set up for receiving either the Canada or Ontario in different channel settings on the RT52. So moving over to zones. So zones, remember, are like scan banks, and they do give you the ability to create differing scan banks. So in here you can see the basic setting, which allows you to display what are the defaults when you turn on the radio for display on your rig, so that you don't have to actually manually switch over to them. Here you can see I've got the 2-meter analog, and I've got the railroad channels. Going into the channels this is all the definitions for all the different channels I have programmed to this point into the RT52. I've got a fair number of local analog 2-meter and 70 centimeter repeaters, along with all the necessary information. You'll see the CTC, SS tones, etc. And further on down the list is the information for the DMR repeaters, as well as marine band and railroad channels. And down near the bottom of the list we have the scan lists, and this gives you some basic scan settings. For example, how long will it delay on a channel if there's activity. Also, you can see the scan lists that I've got set up here. So I've got one which I've called ham, MB, and RR, which includes some ham repeaters along with marine band and railroad channels. And each of these scan lists can be up to 32 channels. And here's just an example of a second scan list that I've got set up. The final option on the menu is the VFO settings, and here's where you set up the default channel that the radio can start up on in VFO mode if VFO mode is selected. And we've got options for both the higher and lower VFO in terms of where they reside on the front panel display. And then when you've got it all set up, there are a couple of icons up near the top, near the menus, for transferring your code plug over to your radio. Pretty straightforward process of transferring over. I like the RT52. It's a solid physical package with a nice feature set and good performance. If you are in the market for an analog DMR HT, give the RT52 consideration. My thanks to Cherry at Retevis for sending me the RT52 to review. My thanks also to Paul, VE3EBY, for helping with the on-air testing. Last but certainly not least, thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up. And if you haven't done so already, please subscribe to my channel. Don't forget to click on the bell icon so that you are notified of any new videos I publish as they come online. Feel free to leave a comment below. I read all the comments and respond to as many as I can. Now it's your turn. Get out of the shack, get outdoors, and get on the air. Until next time, 73 from Tracy, VE3TWM.